everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Just Jay, the podcast. This is actually going to be the season finale of season 7 because season 7 has been so long and so drawn out. And you guys know once I get to like 10 or 11 episodes each season, I cut it short, give myself a little break, and then I come back even better. And I feel like this season has just been the most drawn out and just exhausting season for me because it's like when I feel like I want to get back into my momentum or like I want to get back into just being consistent, I just cannot get a fucking grasp of life. And I'm gonna be so real and so raw this episode. Even when it came to me like creating my episode planner, I had no idea what the fuck to talk about. Still don't really know what to talk about, but we're just gonna let it flow and we're gonna figure it out and we're gonna go from there. But I do want this to be the season finale because I'm planning on launching season 8 on Halloween. Halloween is actually a Thursday, and it's probably like I think it's like 2 weeks out now at this point. Halloween is on a Thursday, so I do want to drop it on the occasional Thursday. So I do want to drop it on Halloween because you guys know I love Halloween. Just Jay is I wouldn't say centered around Halloween, August. So like I didn't start my podcast in October, but October was like right around the corner when it did start. So every year Halloween has just been like super fun for me, and it's just been something that I really really enjoy. Not just for the simple fact that, Halloween, first of all, Halloween has been something that I've enjoyed forever, but because like my logo is orange, my podcast color is orange, like orange and black is the podcast studio theme and vibe. So I'm excited for Halloween. I feel like me taking a break and taking a step back for the 2 weeks that I'm going to give myself, it's going to be so beneficial for my show and so beneficial for you guys as the audience because I feel like I'm not giving myself a chance to catch my breath. And that is my biggest problem right now because we'll talk about it later. But yeah, this is going to be the season finale of season 7. Season 8 will launch Halloween night. Even though it's a Thursday and I usually drop on Fridays, we're going to do a little Thursday action. So super excited about that. I have so many DMs, so many emails to get back to. Like I said, I'm just like drowning with life right now. I don't really know like what, but we all are. Like it's just like it's really just me going through the gist of or the motions of life and realizing that I'm not the only one going through. I'm not the only one that is having a hard time getting a grasp on this fucking thing that we call life. You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to figure out our finances. We're all trying to figure out our careers. Also trying to pick a side when it comes to election time. We are 26 days away from elections. All I'm gonna say is because you guys know in my previous episodes I have gone on rant after rant after rant after how I feel about the world, what I think is gonna happen, what my opinions, my feelings, whatever. At this point, we're 26 days away. All I'm gonna say is I think the deadline to register to vote was the 7th, so that deadline's probably over. But I was pushing a lot of people to get out and register to vote, get out and do everything that you can, do your research. The presidential debate, I hope everyone in America watched that. The vice presidential debate, I hope everyone in America watched that too, because they both were very informative. It was important for me to watch that. So I hope everybody watched the presidential debates. And if you didn't, go back and rewatch it. You still have time, babe, to make up your mind and figure it out. But yeah, like it's just a crazy time in the world for everyone because I feel like we're all just like, what is about to happen next? Like, where are we about to get this next check from? Where are we about to get this next job at? Like, who's about to be our next president? Like, we're all in limbo and in confusion for everything. So I'm trying not to be so hard on myself in this period of my life because it's like, girl, like, you are not the only 24-year-old woman with a great handle on her life for one, but also feeling like she still has no fucking idea what she's supposed to be doing and where she's supposed to be going. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not the only one, and I feel like, again, like I spoke about on last episode, I like to talk about a lot of different things on this podcast because I know that there's somebody that can relate because there always is. So again, this is just going to be another episode of me just, catching you guys up on my life and just giving myself advice while trying to give y'all advice. That's really what it is. I have been super into my Bible study. I have been reading my devotionals every day. I have so much that I feel like because, you know, religion is not something that I was brought up knowing about, or brought up. I wasn't brought up in a church. I wasn't brought up in, like, it was just non-existent in my household because my dad practices Islam, so he has his, you know, set of beliefs and set of morals that are instilled in him. So, you know, my entire life I always thought, oh, I'm gonna do what my dad does. I'm gonna, you know, follow after my dad, which is rightfully so, everything that a daughter is supposed to do. But when it comes to me right now, I want to learn about everything. I want to know about every single possibility of a religion just so that I can be educated when it comes to me making a decision about what I want to practice in my life and what I want to instill in my life and what I want to believe in my life. So I'm heavily into the Bible right now. I have been doing a lot of devotional work daily. I have been also just, you know, sitting with God, praying. I've been watching sermons online. I haven't really got the courage to get back into the church. I don't know why, but I have just really been trying to get closer to God because I realized that the closer that I am to God, the more peaceful I feel. And just the more optimistic my mind is. And I notice that every time I stray away and every time I, you know, put my faith on the back burner, I suffer because of it. And I notice that and I understand that. And I am doing what I can to get back to the me that I know so well, the me that I miss so much realistically, because I I'm just reestablishing my faith within myself and within the Lord. That's really what I'm doing because I feel that right now I've completely stripped myself of all the layers, all of the facades and everything. I'm really living my real life right now. And it's been an adjustment. It's been a journey. I have been doing a lot of reading. Reading is so fundamental, and I feel like my godmother sent me this clip this morning about how she's a seventh grade teacher, and it was basically saying how times have totally changed from, like, I think the year that they gave was 1967 to now, like when it comes to college students and how they're reading and what they're reading. Like when I guess now I think in the clip it was saying how now college students can't even finish a book, can't even get through a book, and don't even really see the overall principle of a book. But and I felt that because when I was in college, like, it was so hard for me to read a book. I don't know if it was because of all the other things that I was doing, like reading my textbook, doing my homework, writing my papers. I don't know if my mind was so occupied with that reading a book and added something else for leisure was just not something I could grasp, or if I really just was like only focused on reading the things that I had to read to get my education. You know what I mean? So now that I'm like out of college, totally just I'm not, you know, connected to that part of my life at all. Now that I'm adult, I can actually sit down and read a fucking book. And it's like 2, 3 years ago, I was like, damn, I can't wait to get my attention span back. I can't wait because I always thought like it's my attention span that's lacking. It's my, you know, like I can't calm my mind down or quiet my mind down to read a book for real or get through a whole story. And now that I'm 24, thank God, in like August, a couple months ago in August, I started like picking up books again because I was like, okay, got my master's. What the fuck else am I gonna do here? Like I need a hobby. I need to do something different, you know? So I was like, let me start picking up books again. When I tell you from probably the first week of August to now, I have read 10 books. Girl, I have read some really good books, and this is like the thing that I think was also fucking me up before. Before I was only reading like the self-help books, like, oh, the motivational books, 7 steps to get your life back together, that type of shit. And I think now I'm at a point where I'm self-helped the fuck out. Like I don't even want to read no self-help book because like I had read them all, and it's just like right now I want a good story. I love a good romance, and I never ever thought I would be like a romance novel type of girl because I was either self-help or I was super thriller, super mysterious, super like crime book. But like at this point in my life, like I'm super into the romance novels. Like I'm into it. I just read a book. Let me see. I read so many. So hold on. Okay, boom. one example that sticks out to me that I actually really, really, really liked. The 7-Year Slip. I forget the author's name, but it's a yellow book. When you see it, you'll know it. 7-Year Slip. And it's about how this girl named Clementine, her aunt had an apartment, and her aunt used to always say that the apartment was magical. It's magical. It takes it takes you on different journeys. It finds you different people and all that stuff. The girl never really thought what the girl always believed and listened to the aunt's stories about the apartment being magical, but she never really understood it until the aunt passed away, and the aunt gave the apartment to her niece in her will. The niece moves into the apartment after her aunt dies, whatever. The niece is also a really really good book publicist. That's what she does for a living. So she moves into the apartment, whatever, and like a couple after, because what the gist of the story and the gist of the apartment is, sometimes when you walk into the apartment, it will take you 7 years back. So one day she walks into the apartment, totally not taking the magical thing seriously, walks into the apartment and she's 7 years back in time. Now, mind you, 7 years back in time, she's supposed to be on a trip with the aunt. That's why the aunt is not in the apartment present during this 7-year slip. So slip back to 7 years in time. She's on a trip with the aunt, but the aunt had lent her apartment for the summer because her and the aunt used to go on these really long trips. So she lent her apartment to one of her friend's son, and the friend's son was staying at the apartment during that time. So when she walked back to the apartment, the son was there, and she was like, "What the hell? Like, who are you?" Obviously, they go through the whole thing. He's like, "Yo, your aunt lent me her apartment, whatever, blah blah blah." Come to find out, she's in a 7-year slip. Come to find out, when you're in the 7-year slip, the person that is in the apartment with you, they can't leave the apartment. Only you can. So when you leave the apartment, they disappear and you go back to your reality. So whenever she walks into the apartment, she has no idea if she's in the 7-year slip or she's going to walk into her own normal reality. It's just crazy, okay? Great story. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I would definitely recommend that book, and I definitely would read it again. Another book that I really, really enjoyed, which was a romance novel, which I don't want to spoil it because I really think that as a woman, every woman should read the book It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Son. Let me tell you something. Colleen Hoover, been the GOAT. She been the GOAT. We've been through that, whatever. But that book totally changed my perception of domestic violence, of women who are in DV situations. Like, it just totally changed my perspective of it, just because of how strong and just how powerful and real the story was. And I feel like what I really enjoy about a lot of the stories that I've read is that they're relatable. 7-Year Slip, the aunt had committed suicide, and the way that the author chose to speak about suicide and shed light on it was beautiful, especially someone that's experienced somebody losing somebody to suicide. It was beautiful, and it was honestly a kind of healing moment that I didn't know that I would ever even get from reading a book. So that's what I'm saying about finding different stories and falling in love with different characters, and learning different things, and just being able to connect to somebody else's body of work that you had no part of, but it speaks to you so vividly. It Ends With Us. That really was a book that I felt spoke to me so differently, to the point where I cried reading the last 3 chapters. I don't know. I'm one of those girls. I told you, the first book that I found it on TikTok, and I was drawn to it because the girl was crying in the video. I'm that type of reader. I want to be drawn to the emotions. I want to cry. I want to laugh. I want to do all the things. And the books that I have read have allowed me to do all of the things. I'm going to give you my book recommendations for the reading girls out there. I never thought I would be back in this bag, but I'm back in this bag, and I love it. So some really, really good books / series that I have read that I would highly recommend. It Ends With Us, for sure. That's a 2-part, 2-book series. It Ends With Us, and then the second book is called It Starts With Us. I'm reading It Starts With Us right now. That'll be my 11th book. It Ends With Us series. 7-Year Slip, for sure. November 9, also another Colleen Hoover book. It's only 1 book. There's no series to it. But it's actually a really, really good story. And it's also a quick read. It's not that long of a book. Very good story. Another Colleen Hoover banger, if we're being honest. Good Girls Guide to Murder. That's a 3-book series. Loved it. I finished it in a week. Listen, that one was really, really good, especially like for a crime thriller book. I think every book got better and better, and I really, really was hooked onto it. They also have a Netflix series called Good Girls Guide to Murder based on the book. Definitely go watch that also. I'm also about to go watch the movie It Ends With Us in like a week or so, because I want to like finish reading the second book before I do that. But that's another thing. I like the books that I've been reading, like they've been making shows and movies about them, and I'm just like, I love that. But also like I'm not too keen on it, because you know, like when you read a book and you go watch the movie on it, the book is always better. It's always like that, because the book has the ability to be more detailed and be more in depth. But the Netflix series for Good Girls Guide to Murder, I think that the casting on it was, I'm telling you, I was in them books. I read those books. So I feel like I knew those people. And when I turned on the Netflix show and I realized who they casted for each part, I was blown away at how accurate and so good they did on casting. Like, oh my God. So yeah, definitely recommend that. But yeah, I've also, another thing that I feel like reading has also been doing for me is like I'm jumping into somebody else's entire world. Like I'm in the city streets of New York with Lily and Ryle, and I'm in the middle of their relationship. Like that's how I feel about it. To the point where like when I read Good Girls Guide to Murder and I finished it, I was genuinely sad, because I was like, damn, my friends are gone. Like I'm not gonna be able to talk to my friends anymore. Like it's that real for me. Like my mind is totally into the whole reading shit. Let's see, what else do I need to talk to you guys about? My work journey. I quit my job. Quit my job because like I've just had enough. Like you guys know very vaguely the situations that I've gone through when it comes to being a special education para. And it just hasn't been fun, hasn't been easy, hasn't been good. The last straw for me was when I feel like they used my podcast as a way to try to paint me out to be a negative person. And I know that this platform is not something that I come on here and I just talk shit about people on. No, I come on here and I speak about my experiences. And the whole fucking point of a podcast is to speak about your experiences and give your opinions and your feelings and your thoughts. And that's all I do all day, every day. So to keep it real, like my administration at the district that I was working at pulled me aside and was like, oh, like we just want to talk to you about some things that you spoke about on your podcast, like pertaining to how I felt about the job that I didn't want to fucking do anymore, and how I felt about, you know, certain people that I worked for over the summer. Like, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, me recording this episode made me hella uncomfortable, because I just feel like the fact that the administration watched my podcast, that's a problem for me. So now I'm sitting here recording my podcast, and now I'm like, damn, who's gonna watch it this week? Who's gonna be in tune this week? This is another reason why I was so like anxious to even, you know, film a season finale and put it out, because it's just like, yes, my podcast is for me to express myself, and obviously I would love for it to be out in the world and be watched and listened to by everyone in the world. But when it comes to trying to use the things that I speak about on here against me, to paint me as a negative person again, which is the entire fucking situation that I've been going through at my job to begin with for the past, damn near a year, fuck that, bro. So yeah, they tried to bring me into a meeting and talk about the shit that I talked about on my podcast, when it's pretty straight fucking forward. My opinion is black and white. It's never, I either like the person or I don't. And if I don't, I have the right to say that as well on my platform that I've created for myself. I put in my 2-week notice. Sure did. Because I'm not going to do that. I'm not standing for the bullshit no more. I'm tired of being like in the work field, like being a black woman who's to herself, who is not with the bullshit, and who is just like not putting on a show to impress other people. It rubs everybody the wrong way. I've been saying this to myself literally since the first situation happened, when I was in the other school building. I am never going to experience peace in a place that I'm not supposed to be in. So that's all that was. And the whole point of growing an audience that you speak to about certain things that you're experiencing. So yes, if I speak about something, my listeners who've heard last week's episode are going to know what I'm talking about. That's the point. So again, another way of them just trying to portray me as a negative, hostile person who just is malicious and all this stuff, when realistically I'm just speaking my mind and they don't fucking like it. And that has nothing to do with me. So here I am on my couch. So I literally put in my 2 weeks, worked my 2 weeks, and all of my coworkers that love me and care about me, they turned up for me. They got me flowers. They took me out to lunch. Like, it was amazing. They really like made sure that everybody knew that I was gonna be missed. But I will be that girl. I'll be that girl that's calling people out on their bullshit and not being liked, and I don't give a fuck, because I'm no longer there. And I swear to God, my dad was like, yo, don't ever fucking go back to that place. Because for them to do that to me is like another fucking slap in the face, and it's another chance for them to try to silence me, which they've been doing already. So yeah, put in my 2 weeks, left gracefully, and that's just that. And I'm still figuring it out, and I really just but yeah, I think that's also what's been like bothering me too, is just like being fucking bothered the way that I was bothered for so long. And then it's like, I'm proud of myself for putting in my 2 weeks and just being like, nah, fuck these people, fuck this environment. Like, I'm so over this. Like, it is what it is. Because mind you, like, this is the same school that I went to. This is the same school that I fucking grew up in. So it's just like, for them to treat me how they were treating me now that I'm an adult, I don't like it. And it just makes me understand that, like, nah, this has been going on. Because it's the same people that was my principals in higher positions now in administration, in HR. So, like, yeah, they're part of the fucking problem. But whatever. On Friday, I do plan to, now that I have like more time to like really chill and like focus on me and like work my other job and just do my thing, like, I'm really gonna try to get back into therapy and just, you know, do my thing. I actually have a therapy appointment in 2 days. And I also have a psychic appointment in 2 days, and I'm super excited about that, because you guys know, like, the last time I went to my psychic was when Bane passed away, and she's a psychic / medium, so she can talk to spirits and past pets and all that other stuff. So I'm really excited to talk to him and just like, because I know he's gonna come through, obviously. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk to him. I'm excited to talk to those two ladies, just to, you know, get all of my thoughts and everything out, so that I don't have to just like keep fucking talking about it and just keep living in it. And it's like, I feel like I have been put in so many situations with so many different people and I'm losing like the confidence that I had in myself, because it's like, even the situation at the school where with them putting me in a box and trying to like minimize what I say on my show, mind you, and I never said a name, I never said a school district, I never said anything. Like, damn, like, these people will not give it up. They just keep fucking following me, keep hounding me, keep just making me an issue. Like, am I an issue? And I know that I'm not a fucking issue. But if a motherfucker's gonna go out of their way for years and years and years and months and months and months to paint me out to be the issue, I have no problem leaning into that and being the fucking issue. Okay? So yeah, I quit my job. I went to Atlanta. I did go to Atlanta, actually. I went to Atlanta probably, 2-3 weeks ago. My trip was great. I feel like every time I go, I meet some really cool people, and I did again, because like my friends that live there now, like they've done a good job of like just meeting new people and like building that connection, so that every time I come, like, and you know, we want to hang out or do whatever, like they introduce me to the people that they've met, and I just love them. Like, I've met so many cool ass people, and I don't know, and I also, that's probably also what's has me a little down also, because every time I come back home from Atlanta, knowing how much I love it there and how much I want to be there, it makes me a little sad. Like, it takes me a while to get adjusted back into my like New York regimen. So that also could be what's playing into just me feeling down. And I feel like there's also not a lot of people for me to like lean on right now, because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like some of my relationships and some of my friendships are starting to really like stand out to me. And it's like, not stand out in a good way. And I don't really like it, because it's just like, I have certain friends who are super on their shit and super like trying to boss me up too. Mind you, I'm bossing myself up slowly but surely, but I have friends who are bossed up as well and they're really trying to boss me up while bossing themselves up too. And I feel like I have homegirls that are like my homegirl right now, she work at a law firm. And she's like, every fucking week, she's like, I told them about you. I talked to them about you. Like, they know about you. Like, whenever you want to apply, whenever you want to put your foot in the door, like, you could do it. Like, showing you care about someone is totally trying to change their financial status. And I have so many homegirls that are just like that. Even Tiaja. Tiaja was working at this place. I think this was probably like two years ago, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years. I don't know. But she was working at this place, and she was like, "Yo, like, I told them about you. Like, come on, like, let's come on and get this money with me." Like, I value friendships like that, like, because that's how you know you love somebody, when you want to see them do better, and like when you want to see them do better in all aspects, not even just like, you know, their mentality or their physical well-being, but also trying to boss up their pockets too, because you know that you're in a position to put other people on and like bring them up with you. Like, that is beautiful and that's love. And I feel like I also have these friends or people that are around me that are not as well off, or is not as bossed up as they would want to be. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking either one struggle, because at the end of the day, like, we all got to start from somewhere, and we're all going to be striving for more in our lives. So just because they're here and they're here doesn't mean that they're equally, doesn't mean that they're not equal, doesn't mean that they're not both go-getters and really boss ass bitches. But what I've been noticing is that the people that are not in my immediate circle, who are like, you know, going through breakups or going through hard times in life, like, when I vent to them about my hard times in life, like, I'm not getting met with what I would get on this side of the spectrum with my boss up bitches, who would be like, bitch, like, okay, tell me about your problems. I'm gonna give you mad solutions. Because that's how a lot of me and my homegirls operate. Like, I'll give them 100 problems. They'll give me 101 solutions. Like, I'll give you one extra just so that we don't have to go through this conversation again. You feel me? But like, lately, like, the people that I've been venting to or leaning on, it's just like friends that let you spiral and don't back you up for help, that are also spiraling. They just want you to be spiraling with them. And that's something that I really have to grasp, because it's like, for me, like, when I'm down and out, I don't have no positivity to give nobody else either. So I understand it. And when I'm down and out, I'm not really looking to really be a big help to other people's lives. So I'm really trying to figure out my own shit. But at the same time, like, I don't have no room for the friends that want you to go through it with them. You know what I mean? Like, they want you to be going through it in life with them because they going through it too. And I just don't feel like that is cool. And like, I'm realizing that, like, I have like 2 or 3 people who are just like that in my circle. And it's like, when I'm up and when I'm doing good, like, I barely hear from them. But when I'm down and out and I'm, you know, have things that I want to get off my chest, and I have things that I don't, you know, that I feel that are just hurting me, that's when they're the most attentive. And that's also when they're the most like, okay, but what you want to do about it? You want to start off some more? You want to go out and crash out? And it's just like, one of my homegirls, my real ride or die homegirls, would never see me crashing out and watch the chaos continue. Like, my homegirls would literally drag me out of the fucking club if I was crashing out. Like, bitch, what are you doing? I want the bossed up bitches on my side. I don't want the down and out bitches who want me to be down and out with them, that are fucking encouraging me to do bad shit. Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that for myself. And I feel like I have an equal balance and an equal number of both. And right now, I'm looking at both sides of my friends, and I'm like, are you bitches really here for what? Or here for me, or what? Are you bitches really down for the ride, or what? Like, are we locked in, or what? Are we bossing each other up, or what? Are we trying to change our lives and be better women, or what? And if the answer is no, I don't want to be your friend, babe. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend. And I think it's just been confusing for me, because it's just like another thing that I fucking cannot grasp, that I know if I was to grasp this one concept in my life, I would be cool. This would add so much more peace to my life. I have to understand that the heart that I have, that's beating in my chest right now, and the mentality, and just the way that I love, the way that I am compassionate to people, like, the heart that I have and the way that I move as a person, I have to stop looking for that in other people because it's damn near going to be non existent. And I'm never going to find somebody that is just like me that I feel like, oh my God, like you get it. Like, yeah, like that's how I would act. Because realistically, when I'm gauging that's how I would act, quote unquote, I go above and beyond for everyone, for everything. So there's never going to be a time where my level of that's how I would act is matched because I'm always overboard. I always, and it's like the things that people would never think to do for somebody, that's just nature to me. Like, it's just like, oh, I just thought of that on a whim. Like, I was random that I just did. Like, it wasn't nothing that I really had to think about. And that'd be throwing people off because it's like, what? Like, why are you built like that? Like, why are you built to love like that? Why are you built to, like, go the extra mile like that and not even think about it? But, like, that's just me. And I find myself breaking my own heart over and over and over again when I'm trying to project what I want, what I would be doing onto other people because they never get it. And it's like, I have to stop doing that. I have to stop trying to find myself or try find my own characteristics in other people because they probably will not be there. And I also have to stop putting expectations on people because that leads to the most disappointment ever. Because I'm expecting you to be like me and I'm expecting you to do what I would have did if you was in that situation for you. But you're not in that situation and it's me. And your reaction to how you think that I should handle it is not going to be the reaction that I would give you. And I have to grasp that. And I don't know how many more fucking years on this earth it's going to take me to get that. But I haven't got it yet. So, clearly not 24. Maybe 25. Maybe 26. I'm praying that I get it next year because and it's like I know that. And I'm also understanding that I'm in the process of teaching myself that. Because it's like when I get upset about how I feel like somebody else should have showed up for me, I check myself because it's like, girl, you're doing it again. Expectations, and that person is not you. That's it. But it's taking in my mind a really, 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 really long time to grasp that. And I feel like I'm just really looking at myself like who I am now from who I was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Totally different person because now, like the person I am now, like I don't want to spiral. I don't want to bug out. I don't want to wild out and do something crazy that's totally out of character for me. Like I don't want to do that because like I spent a long time of my life when I really was down and out and I really was sad, having to clean up those messes of the times where I was just doing the most and spiraling and not trying to pick up the pieces of my life and just making shit worse. Like I spent so many time trying to I spent so much time cleaning up those messes. I'm at a point in my life right now where I don't want to clean up no mess that I didn't even have to make for real. You know? Or that I just don't want to do nothing that goes against my character and that goes against my heart. And I feel like recently I've made some mistakes, but I've also been very, very, very hard on myself when it comes to those mistakes. But in reality, like I have to understand, like I can't be perfect every day. I can't have it all put together every day. I can't be on my A game and be the best version of me every day. You know what I mean? And it's like I think for a long time I had this I was stuck on this notion that like if I did bad things or if I made mistakes that people deemed as bad, I would be a bad person. Because even right now, like the mistakes that I've made, like what the past 2 weeks, like don't deem me as a bad person. But is the devil in the back of my mind trying to poke that idea? Yes, because it's like, oh, that's not you. That's something you would normally do. You were a good person. Like what made you change into a bad person that thought that this decision was valid, that thought this decision was the right thing to do? You know what I mean? But again, the devil is fucking playing with my mind as he always does. I'm realizing that good people can sometimes have bad seasons. And sometimes good people do bad things. And that's it. Like, and that's all it is. Sometimes good people just do bad things. And sometimes good people just do bad things when they're in a bad season of life. And we're all in different seasons of life, but a lot of us are not doing the best. And a lot of us are thugging it out just like I am. A lot of us are figuring it out just like I am. So I am trying to give myself the most grace while also remaining accountable for how I show up for people, what I do in my life, and all of the above. So, yeah, I just I'm trying to just live my life. I'm trying to just figure it out. I really, really am. It's taken me a long time because I feel like, no, it's taken me a long time because I'm doing it myself. It's taken me a long time because I'm really, trialing and erroring everything. And I seen this video from the guy from Everybody Hates Chris. He was talking about how you're gonna be you're so focused on the future and where you want to be, but you don't even realize that you're right where you prayed to be a couple years ago. Bask in that moment, like you don't even you realize you thinking about the future so much you don't even realize like you are the person that you are destined to be right now. You are your dream person right now. So it's like stop missing your moment. Stop being so hard on yourself and stop, trying to paint your life to be this fucking beautiful canvas that you've painted in your head, but you don't even realize like everything's gonna happen how it's supposed to and when it's supposed to. So like I'm being impatient as fuck when realistically I could just chill out right here and ride out this wave and thug it out and then just, learn the lessons that I'm supposed to learn and, do the things that I'm supposed to do in this season of my life and just to better myself. Like nothing happens overnight. Everything takes time. You're going to constantly be learning. You're constantly healing. You're constantly growing. You're constantly becoming the person that you've always wanted to be. So realistically, like, just be. Ooh. Clap for that. But yeah, y'all. That's really all I had to talk about on this week's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. My dad saw the sign on the door that said I'm recording and got pissed off and went back upstairs. That's what you just heard. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. This is going to be the season finale of season 7. I didn't really have a lot of things to talk about. Like my episode planner is damn near bare. But I will be back on Halloween night, so I am excited to see y'all. I think that the fucking Halloween launch is going to be everything that I need to get myself back together. Also, what are y'all gonna be for Halloween? Because I'm dying to know, because I have no idea. I mean, I have 2 ideas. I don't know. Everything is just, I don't know with me. And my homegirl was like, take that word out of your vocabulary. Figure it out. Every time you want to say, I don't know, figure out something to say. But I don't know. I don't know. I have 2 ideas for costumes, and then I have an idea that I want to do on Halloween. Or something that I could do on Halloween. But I don't know. Like, I'm just a little... I don't know. Like, I don't know. But... yeah. I'll let y'all know what I do on Halloween. I'll see you guys there. Love you so much. Bye.